or the tequila squirt. There is always something new at Dead End BBQ. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End BBQ. The summer flavor search is over.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ. And hour 2 is brought to you by Alumni Hall. Get game day ready. Everything orange and white is right there at Westtown Mall, Turkey Creek, Paper Mill. Outside of Knoxville includes locations in Brentwood, Bristol, and Murfreesboro. Don't fret if you are not in one of those 6 locations in Tennessee, because you can always shop at Alumni Hall online, alumnihall.com, www.alumnihall.com. I think I just like saying www.
I thought you were about to say WWE.
www.alumnihall.com. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Alumni Hall UT.
Speaking of Alumni Hall, real quick. When I was home this weekend, I had to go to the Alumni Hall in Huntsville, and it was nothing but Alabama and Auburn, and I wanted to throw up. It's just such a different vibe. Our Tennessee Alumni Halls here in East Tennessee are so much better, so much more cleaner, friendlier, better looking. The people are better looking. They ain't missing teeth.
Yeah.
They're not talking on a flip phone.
Yeah, through 2 cans.
Through a pigeon.
Yeah.
You see what Saban said today?
865-255-03 B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Let me take a look at the text box this morning. Got some good stuff here on the text box. So let's see here. What we got? What we got going on?
It seems like I've been looking. We triggered folks talking about how Ben and I walk away from some losses a little bit encouraged sometimes. PDD said, "Freaking moral victories." I just imagine that's the way he said it.
I think a bunch of people are just reacting and really not listening. A moral victory is when you brag and you happy and you're excited and you're feeling good about only losing by a certain amount of points. You can still be upset at a loss, but be encouraged by what you have seen in that game. There's a very fine line.
It is.
It's a very fine line. I think saying that you will be happy if Tennessee loses to Alabama by 7 is a moral victory. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think if you say you would be upset, but you can't tell me that you wouldn't be encouraged if Tennessee plays Alabama better than everyone else or anyone else this season have played Alabama. You would be encouraged. There's actually, and this may not, again, make sense to simpletons, but there's a chance that you can play better than how you played last week and still lose.
Yeah. And that will absolutely happen. If Tennessee has an even better game than they had last week, they will still lose.
Yeah, I mean, that
Alabama.
That can happen. It's going to take Alabama to have their worst game ever.
Like, catastrophically bad.
Yeah. And it's going
5 turnovers.
Yeah, it will take Tennessee to have their best game to have a chance. But it's possible that Tennessee can play even better than they did against Auburn and still lose. But that doesn't mean that you are going around skipping and that you're going to go paint the rock with your friends. You're going to go down to the nearest hardware store and rack up on paint. You're going to pull out your Peyton Marie skills.
Only lost by 7.
And you're going to go paint the rock. That's not what you do. But you can say, man, okay. Oh, yeah, we're running the table now. Because if we play like we play against Auburn and Alabama, oh, yeah, this team's going to win the rest of the games, no doubt. I think that's different than a moral victory. Let's get to
well, and real quick, PDD comes back with Ben just said that he would be happy with Tennessee if they don't get blown out. Yes, I would be.
You did say that.
I did say that.
I think that's a moral victory.
And What did I say during the break? I
said you don't care.
People can make fun of me for all they want. This is the only game that I would accept a moral victory, and I'm okay with it. If Tennessee loses by 7 or 10 to Alabama, I will be happy. That is a moral victory, and the only time this season I will accept a moral victory.
Okay. Hey.
Sue me.
Because, and like Swain was just saying there, it does mean your chances of maybe winning out, definitely of making a bowl game, go way up if you have a performance like that against Alabama.
And you are consistent.
And that's why I would be happy, is because, A, Tennessee didn't lose by 28 points like Vegas thinks they're going to, and B, it's a good indicator for the future. So it's not just I'm happy because Tennessee only lost by 7 or 10. I'm happy because it's a great sign for the future of Tennessee football.
That makes sense. I'm just not wired that way. But it makes sense.
And like I told Charlie also during the break after I made that statement, if I was on the football team, I would not have that mindset at all. That is a pure fan football mindset. The players should not think of that at all. If they lose by 1 to Alabama, if they lose by 50 to Alabama, they should be pissed off.
Well, I think some fans think they're on the team. I mean, honestly, I think it is weird because I think they really feel like they got to have the same mindset as the players. Remember this conversation that you sometimes hear? Well, don't talk trash because it's bulletin board material. I'm sorry, I didn't think that the fans are playing. Well, you gotta be, you can't, you gotta say this and you gotta feel this way because no, you're not playing. You can say what you want, you can feel how you want. You have no outcome on the game individually. Now, if you're at the game with another 100,000 people and you're loud, then okay, you can impact the game. But how you feel is not going to impact those 18 and 22-year-olds out there and those coaches on Saturday. And I really think sometimes the fans really think that they're players, that they have to match the same mentality, and you don't.
It seems like
you don't sometimes. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Let's go to Big Orange Mac on the B-Drive waterproofing hotline. Big Orange Mac, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
My man.
You don't have to quiz a bandwagon Bama fan. It's very simple. It's very simple stuff. Like, who do y'all play on Saturday? I guarantee you they don't know. There's a young lady that worked. I'm serious. There's a young lady that worked at an establishment here that I always go get breakfast at every morning. And every time I had my UT hat on, going to work, she said, Roll Tide, Roll Tide, Roll Tide. It was on Saturday morning. Said, hey, by the way, who y'all play today? Oh, I don't know. I was like, hold up. You the biggest Bama fan this side of Tuscaloosa. Y'all know who y'all play today? I already knew the answer. If they playing Ole Miss, oh, we'll beat them. Well, oops, sorry, y'all got your ass. Got your butt whooped. I mean, you ain't got to quiz them hard. Just tell them to sing the first verse of Yay Alabama. They don't know what Yay Alabama is. They think their fight song is Rama Jamma. Yes, I got into an argument with a gentleman said, "Oh, our fight song is Rama Jamma is way better than Rocky Top." That ain't even the fight song.
Hey, Big Orange Matt, was that lady that you talking to? Was that the lady from the picnic table video?
No. Don't do that to me, Swain.
I'm sorry, man. I had to.
Woo, boy. That's a whole nother topic.
We'll keep it PG, man. We'll keep it PG.
Yeah, man, like, I know stuff about the University of Alabama the average quote-unquote Bama fan don't even know.
Yes,
like,
you do.
How did their mascot become the elephant? Well, when they took their first trip to the Rose Bowl, they got donated luggage to them, and the emblem on the luggage was a red elephant. That's how, and they went out there and they beat, I think it was Stanford, in the Rose Bowl, and that kind of became their little good luck charm, whatever. That's how the elephant became their mascot. Stuff like that.
Did not know that.
I can name Dixie Howell, Pat Trammell, Leroy Jordan, all All-Americans at Alabama. They don't know that, but they the biggest Bama fans in the world. Dude, I can drive 3 minutes from my house to my workshop here at work in Springfield in Robertson County. I can count 15 cars in between that 3-minute span with Bama tags and crap. It's an epidemic worse than Ebola. I mean, they were 10 years ago, 10 to 15, 20 years ago, They was missing like Malaysian Flight 370. They was missing like a Vietnam POW. You couldn't find them. And now they everywhere. You can't throw a rock without hitting them. I'll be so glad when I can brag again and they can be quiet for 365 days. Gentlemen, y'all have a great day. Let's go get this dub. I feel a little confident. Go ball.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. They put their pants on just like us.
Great call.
Well, no, because Butch assists them.
They have help putting their pants on. But, you get what I'm saying. You got to put two legs through two legs of the pants.
I think a perfect question.
What? You confused? Two legs?
That
was
a confusing description.
Yeah, you got to put your two legs in the two legs of the pants.
I've still been marinating on this. I think a perfect question would be something like this. When was the year that an Alabama football player first won the Heisman Trophy? Because I feel like a total bandwagon fan would be like, well, we were really good back with Bear Bryant, so maybe like 1962, and that's 2009, and it happened in the Saban era. I think that it's a perfect question like that. I think it's subtle, a little bit of misdirection.
Well, ask him where the mascot came from. That'll get him.
Now, well, I mean, I feel like even I don't know what is the exact origin of Smokey. I mean, obviously, I know the Volunteers, but like, what's the origin of Smokey the dog? I don't know that, and I went to Tennessee for 6 years and grew up in Knoxville, so
fair enough.
I'll be totally honest there. That's a tough question.
I'm not admitting stuff like that. I know everything about Tennessee.
I know everything.
I know it all.
Everything. I'm a Tennessee fan. VFL, Swain Event. Be right back.
If you want to chop it up with the fellas, call the Be Dry Waterproofing Hotline at 865-200-5503.
We're here with Dr. Mike Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, or instability, Achilles tendonitis, golfers, or tennis elbow, do what I did and give them a call.
Yeah, Jason, we specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including things like rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow problems, as well as foot problems like plantar fasciitis, Achilles, things of that nature, by injecting with stem cells in what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment we do under ultrasound, so we know we have our target. And it also stimulates the body's own reparative process, and this allows for the healing of damaged tissue. And as you well know, I mean, numerous professional and collegiate athletes, guys like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and even yourself with your ankle injury, have been using this form of treatment for years. And so we offer that same type of treatment here in East Tennessee.
Visit them on the web, Regenerative Therapy.
Big Orange football is better alongside another Tennessee tradition, Mrs. Grissom's salad. Mrs. Grissom's ready-made snacks and meals are perfect for game day. Crowd favorites like the select pimento cheese and
The first step is the hardest. Low T Center is making it easier to take that first step. It all starts with knowing the numbers that are essential to a man. Testosterone levels, blood pressure, cholesterol, prostate, and thyroid. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to get all these levels checked and more. Low T Center specializes in men's health and has expanded their services, including sleep apnea, low thyroid, hypertension, severe allergies, high cholesterol, diabetes, and annual physicals, along with testosterone replacement therapy. The physicians at Low T Center not only want to help you feel good again, they want to help you prevent any serious health problems moving forward. Now, with the holistic approach to your overall health and wellness, Low T Center is making it more convenient for men to take care of their health, and most health insurance is accepted. They'll even verify for you. Take the first step for your health and call 865-392-1388. That's 865-392-1388, or go to lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare.
Backed by popular demand, shop tax-free at Better Mattress during the month of October. Save hundreds of dollars store-wide. Better Mattress will pay your sales tax on any purchase. My Better Mattress has me sleeping better than ever, and it's handcrafted in East Tennessee, so I know it is made to last by good people who care about the quality of their work. Better Mattress makes it so easy to choose a mattress, you can get started right now. Visit bedrmattress.com and click on Mattress Prescription. Answer a few questions, and they'll send you some options to start with. Plus, at Better Mattress, shoppers sleep worry-free. If you don't like it after 100 nights, they'll swap it out for you. And your Better Mattress will come with a 20-year warranty. Shop Better Mattress tax-free this month only. Good night just got better.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Pass downfield is complete. That's Swain. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give him 6. Touchdown.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. More victory conversation got folks fired up. I like it, man. I like it. Bama week. Let's get fired up a little bit. Let's get fired up. I think it's a real thin line. I really do. And I think folks who point the finger at others subscribing to more victories may be the same people who would be happy too. I am just not wired that way to look at a team having more points than Tennessee and being happy. But I do understand that Tennessee plays their best game of the season, and let's just say, let's say Mike Tyson. Let's say Alabama's Mike Tyson in Tyson's prime. If you lose by a decision and you bloodied Mike Tyson a little bit, something that no one else really did much of, I can see how you would say, okay, yeah, I'm cool. I'm not mad. I mean, I'm not happy. But hey, man, we played well. We bloodied Alabama. But I'm not gonna be happy. I will not be happy losing the game. But you can't sit here and tell me that that's not progress. It's hard sometimes to identify progress in the eye of a storm or when you lose. But I truly believe that Tennessee can play better than they did last week because they got a little lucky on some plays. Durham Pruitt sat down with Matt Stitchcomb and they're going over plays, breaking down the film, and Bryce Thompson made a great play. Two guys was covering one Auburn receiver, and Bryce Thompson had to cover two open receivers. And if Jarrett Stidham was a little bit early with his throw, that's a touchdown instead of an incomplete pass, which Auburn had to kick the field goal. It is 14-3 instead of 10-3. The game is different. Auburn's wide receiver ran right past our DB and dropped a touchdown. So, I mean, they had plays that they left on the field. We had some plays that we were fortunate that we made. We took some risks and they paid off. A few plays could have went differently and the game could have went differently. Tennessee could come out on Saturday and play a whole lot better and still lose. That's possible because of how good Alabama is. All I care about is how we play. That's it. I care about how we play the game in this game. Yes, I want to win. But I don't expect to win because I'm looking at this from an objective point of view. I'm not looking at this as a Tennessee fan that want to feel this win and I hate Alabama. Yes, I hate Alabama as a former player, but I'm looking at this as an analyst, as someone who is not biased. And I don't see it. I don't see a win for Tennessee here. But you can still take a step forward. And that's what we want. We want to take steps forward. We don't want to take any steps back. If you are on the 20-yard line the best way to score is not having negative plays. I don't care if you get 3 yards a pop, 3 yards a pop, 3 yards a pop. Eventually, you're going to score. That's what I want to do as a football program. And I just want to take a step forward, 3 steps, 3 yards here, 3 yards here, 3 yards here. And then by the time it is 2019, 2020, we're talking about Tennessee winning the East. That's what you have to do to get to that point, is you have to take positive steps moving forward before you get to that point. You don't wake up one day and go, oh, hey, we're East champions. Or, hey, oh, yeah, we just beat Georgia and Florida in the same season, and Alabama just overnight. No, it's a process, and this is a part of the process. You have to be able to sometimes see the good in a loss. And I saw that a little bit in Georgia. Came back, was able to beat Alabama, beat Auburn in Alabama, and now we play Alabama. And hey, you may play better, but you still may lose.
It's this assertion from PDD that I just don't agree with talking about this. He said it's the whole everyone gets a trophy mindset if you subscribe at all to moral victories. And I don't agree, because what we're talking about, if you take positives away from a loss, is that you're thinking about how it's going to do good things for you in the future. You're not actually saying, oh, my team got a win, let's give ourselves a trophy and a ring for losing to Alabama by 7. You're saying, no, this means good things in the future, and it's going to lead to wins on the football field here next week, maybe the next week, maybe next year, depending on what situation that you're in. You're not, like, nobody's getting a trophy for moral victory. I don't think any of us are saying that. I don't think that it's the everyone gets a trophy kind of mindset, which is, I have a problem with that as much as the next guy. I don't like that. Not everybody should get a trophy. Sports should teach you how to lose, and give you that sort of skill set, and teach you how to get back up and get back going and have a tougher demeanor. But this really is just you're saying there were positive things here that will lead to wins in the future. You're not saying, hey, give us a ring for losing to Alabama by 7.
Because this conversation it's the lines are so thin. You have to be really careful. You can be mad and still take positives from the game. We're talking about being happy. We're talking about being happy that Tennessee only lost by a certain number of points. That is a moral victory. You can still be mad and take positives. That is not a moral victory. I don't think even a moral victory is saying that we are celebrating and everyone gets a trophy. I don't think it's the same thing as a participation trophy or anything like that. You got to understand where Tennessee is coming from, which got embarrassed the last few years against Alabama, got blanked at home against Georgia when Peyton Manning was in the house, got embarrassed this year at home honoring the 98 team, had every coach in America say no to Tennessee. I mean, for this game, hey, I understand. Me saying that I don't necessarily subscribe to more victories, or me saying that I'm not built that way, doesn't mean I don't understand. I do understand for this particular game, playing against probably, at this start of the season, something Jeremy Pruitt said, he says the best team he's ever watched on the field in the first 6 games of the season. Let's just say that Alabama continues and they win championship. We're talking about probably one of the best 10 college football teams ever, probably.
Maybe the best.
I understand if you're a Tennessee fan and you go, hey, man, if we don't lose to Alabama by 7, and everyone else is losing to about 40, 30, 35, 25 points, hey, I'm okay. I understand that. I'm not going to judge you because it's Alabama. But
if you feel that way against Florida or the rest of the SEC games, that's where it becomes
I think if, like, next week you play South Carolina and there's no such thing. I don't understand it, nor do I subscribe to it at all. For the rest of the season, I don't agree,
even next year,
understand, or subscribe to it at all. So
I think the more I think about it, the more how I feel is that I would be upset that Tennessee lost to Alabama, but I would be happy with their performance on the field if they only lose by 7 or 10 points. I don't know if you still consider that a moral victory, because I'm going to be pissed off that they lost to Alabama because it's Alabama. But in my opinion, because of where Alabama is and where Tennessee is, I think it's okay to be happy with Tennessee's performance if they only lose by 7 or 10 points. Would you consider that a moral victory as well? Because to me, a moral victory is being happy when you lose regardless. And I'm not going to be happy that Tennessee lost. It's more of me being happy with Tennessee's performance.
I think it's hard. I think you're splitting hairs a little bit there.
Okay.
I think
it's getting a little tedious.
Yeah, I think it's splitting hairs. I think if Tennessee loses by whatever amount, and there's a fan who says, "You know what, guys, I'm happy we only lost by this," I think that has a little more victory on it. And for this game, I understand if you feel that way. I don't feel that way. I take every L pretty much the same. I'm upset. I'm mad. But I also can separate my emotion from reality and go, hey, man, look, ooh, okay. Man, we lost the game, but, man, we got a little something here. That's what we did against Georgia. That's what these coaches did against Georgia. They took the good in the Georgia game and worked on that during the bye week, and they came out and they beat Auburn. So there is value sometimes in losing, but I'm just not going to be happy with Tennessee only losing by 7 or 21 or 14, because as a player, we lost 6-3, and I was pissed off. And I'm still pissed off about it, and it's 13 years later. I should be 4-0 against Alabama. We only lost to Alabama by 3 points. I'm still upset. So that's just how I'm wired. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't understand a Tennessee fan for saying, hey, man, I'm okay for only losing 7 points to a freaking dynasty. Like 2002 Miami when they came up here. You wasn't going to win that game. You had no shot at winning that game. Cedric Houston ran his hardest. Tennessee punched Miami with all that they had. And Miami said, that's it? All right, boys, let's play. And then blew out Tennessee. Sometimes it's like that. And this is one of those times that will take place this weekend, in my opinion. For what? Coming up next.
Today looks to be sunny with a high of 63 and a low of 43. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 68 and a low of 56. Saturday an 80% chance of showers and a high in the low 60s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com. Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain Event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give Be Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, Be Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. Be Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call Be Dry. Reach out to Be Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call Be Dry.
Peripheral arterial disease, or PAD, is a dangerous hardening of the arteries that can lead to infection and even limb amputations. September is PAD and Vascular Disease Awareness Month, and the vascular surgeons of Premier Surgical Associates want you to know that finding and treating PAD early is the key. If you smoke, have diabetes, or are overweight, you are at a higher risk of this deadly disease. Talk to your physician about whether you should be screened for PAD. If detected early, it can often be managed with lifestyle changes and medication instead of surgery. For information about PAD and other vascular diseases, visit premiersurgical.com right now.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. It's almost football time in Tennessee, which means it's time to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Tommy Bahama, and all those retro logos you love. Don't forget about your game day crew. Plenty of selection for the ladies, the little balls, and to upgrade their tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
Dan Mullen posing awkwardly with recruits.
For what?
Gators working out wearing costumes.
For what?
Vanderbilt making a sorority-style video.
For what?
Aaron Murray and David Pollock opening their mouths.
For what?
All right, it's time for What here on the Swain Event, where we highlight folks making some very questionable life decisions out here. And gentlemen, looks like you guys are locked and loaded. So who wants to go first? We got about 4 minutes in this segment that we will have to get to our guests in hour 3. So what you got?
Got a very quick one out of Norcross, Georgia. Shout out to the Georgia fans down there. They get a giant for what, or at least this one does. Police say they're searching for a robbery suspect who held up a sub shop and then forgot his sandwich and returned to retrieve it. 34-year-old Zachary Miller was waiting for a sandwich at the sub shop on Medlock Bridge Road when he jumped over the counter, demanded cash, and opened the cash register. He got $100 out of the register, which, come on, is that really worth it? And then he fled. But he then realized that he left the sandwich he had ordered inside, and he went back to get it. He still got away, though. So in a sense, the police sort of get him for what here, because this dude not only robbed the store, but then left, came back, got his sandwich, left again. They know who he is, 34-year-old Zachary Miller, and he still has not been caught. It said he has multiple warrants for his arrest in the states of Tennessee and Georgia both. Big fat for what here? Oh, I forgot my sandwich. I gotta go back. Gotta go back and get it. Don't want to forget that. Every good thief needs to stay nourished, needs to stay healthy. And they gotta eat. They're grown boys. So that's my for what.
Man, I don't think we need another one, man. My goodness, you go to rob a sandwich shop. You get the money, all $100.
Yeah, $100.
And I guess you decided you want to make yourself a sandwich on your way out. And then you leave the sandwich. Instead of taking that money that you just stole to go get another sandwich, you go back risking getting caught to pick up your sandwich you left on the counter, and you still get away. Have they caught him yet?
That was, let me see when that one was written. That was yesterday at 10:33 a.m. He was still at large. So I'm going to say he probably is still out there.
All right, I'm giving a for what to the situation. Probably an attaboy to this young boy. But in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, a fugitive in western Pennsylvania was no match for a 4-year-old. Deputies in Westmoreland County were searching for 24-year-old Jesse Vaughn Lawson last week on an arrest warrant for receiving stolen property and burglary. While checking at the apartment, Lawson's girlfriend told the police she hadn't seen Lawson in 5 days, but the woman's 4-year-old son was more than happy to help. The boy says, quote, "Come on, I'll show you," and led them to an electrical closet where Lawson was hiding. So this guy got domed out by his girlfriend's son.
Oof.
4-year-old son said, "No, hey, wait, no, Jesse's over here. You ain't my daddy. You're not my daddy. I'm snitching on you. If you was my daddy, I'll lie for you. But you're not my daddy. Officers, he's right over here, sir. Come on, I'll show you." So the for what goes to Jesse Vaughn Lawson for getting snitched on by a 4-year-old. Should have put a ring on it, man. Should have put a ring on it.
Yep.
Maybe the son would have been more loyal to you if he was his stepdad instead of just mommy's boyfriend. Beyonce was right. You should have put a ring on it. 865-250-5503, B-Drop Waterproofing Hotline. Taking a look at the text box this morning. We will be joined by Dave Bartu in hour 3, and looks to be also joined by Aaron Suttles, who covers Alabama, so that'll be fun. But first, let's try to slip in one message here on the text box before we have to wrap up our number 2. Can you speak on what you think, or maybe why Pruitt said he will not call the defense this week? I joined late. Don't know if you already talked about it. Pruitt was just joking. He was joking with Kevin Sherrod. Kevin Sherrod, him was watching film, and he says, "Hey, you can call the defense this week. Good luck." It was a joke because Alabama's offense was so good. Yes, that is. He's just truthful. Golly, Alabama's offense is potent. It's hard to guard, and it's gonna be a headache for Pruitt, no doubt about it. Because you can know what they're doing, you still gotta get your guys to know what to do and react. That's a whole other ball game. 865-250-5503. Be right back.
If you love the Swain Event and you want more of the show every day, you can now get it with Swain Event Plus. Swain Event Plus features exclusive, in-depth interviews with former Vols.
She saved my life. I probably would have never made the comments, man. I looked at him and said, Coach, no disrespect. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to play in the SEC.
With Swain Event Plus, you can also get access to the exclusive podcast Reel on the Hill with Tennessee media legend John Bryce.
What is going on there with that battle?
I had lunch with some folks over the course of this past week who indicated some inside the program believe that Jarrett Garantano is really ready to take that next step.
So go to SwainEventPlus.com right now to sign up and check out all of the amazing extras that you can get. That's SwainEventPlus.com. Get more.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
All right, team, listen up. It's tailgating time again in Tennessee. But most importantly, team, you're going to need to refi that tailgate and the truck it's attached to with a refinanced auto loan with Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union with their Got That promotion. They'll give you up to $500 for your debt. Are you serious, Coach? That's right, Johnny. Alcoa 10 will pay you up to $500 for your debt. Now, let's get out there and spread the word. Say it with me. Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10, Alcoa 10.
ATFCU is an equal housing lender.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. And our guest right now, I don't know how he gets everything done that he gets done in a day because he's literally everywhere. He is 1/3 of the three-man front there. Their show is 10 to 2 Central Time there in Birmingham, WJOX 94.5. And he also covers Alabama for The Athletic. That is Aaron Suttles. Aaron Suttles on Twitter. Suttles, good morning, man. How you doing?
What's up, Swain?
Man, how scared is Alabama this week, man? Are they pretty worried about Tennessee after Tennessee beat Auburn? I know they're pretty worried.
I don't know that worries the right word. They're probably they want to send Tennessee a bottle of wine for knocking off Auburn. They always appreciate that.
Well, I heard that the Bama fans and the Bama players, maybe some of the older Bama fans would disagree, but they treat Auburn as their bigger rival than Tennessee, and I understand that. I'm not offended at all. I totally get it. They're right there in the same state. That's a bitter rivalry. We've seen some really unfortunate, violent cases come from this rivalry and change people's lives forever. So I totally get it. I totally understand. Did Tennessee's game against Auburn, like seriously, kind of maybe make them maybe respect Tennessee a little bit more or prepare for them a little bit differently than they have in the past?
Well, I think they respect Tennessee right now for one reason, and that's because they really like Jeremy Pruitt, and they respect the kind of football coach that Jeremy Pruitt is. And when you look at Alabama now, and I'm sure it's the same way at Tennessee, so many of these players are coming from out of state. Alabama recruits nationally, and some of their best players aren't from this state. They don't know the history of the rivalry. And when they look at it during their lifetime, they can say, well, Auburn beat Alabama in the kick six. Auburn beat Alabama in the comeback. Auburn beat Alabama last year. So they look at that and they say, well, this is more of a rivalry. And they don't really see that from Tennessee until they get indoctrinated into the program. But, I think a lot of people around Alabama in that program respect the hell out of Jeremy Pruitt and the kind of person he is and the kind of football coach he is. And I think last week was a prime example that if he gets things going, that he's going to get Tennessee turned in the right direction.
I know Pruitt is like, their favorite son because he grew up as a Bama fan. He played at Alabama, and he's been so great as an assistant and as a coordinator. But at some point, that little love is going to wear off. If Tennessee starts to threaten Alabama a little bit, then I'm pretty sure this will turn back into a rivalry. This has been really weird for me, Aaron, because I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. I came here to Tennessee, and that was a messy situation with the NCAA and all that stuff. And I as a player, I hate Alabama. It's a bitter rival, and you have Coach Fulmer now back as AD, which is really weird. I know Bama fans hate him, and then he goes out, he hires Pruitt, which some people feel like could be the next coach after Nick Saban. It's just weird, man. Like, folks don't hate Tennessee that much because of Pruitt. I don't know if I like it or if I'm really comfortable with it. So to be honest, man, I want hate between these two teams.
I think it's coming back because, as you mentioned, Alabama fans hate Phil Fulmer, and they hate him with a passion.
Yes, they do.
I think it's coming back around, and all it takes is Tennessee to win one of these games, and that hate's coming right back. You don't hate the little brother that you beat up on in the backyard playing 21 or playing pickup basketball. I mean, you only start to dislike him when he gets a little taller and he starts blocking your shots, and he starts winning some of those games. So I think that's what it's going to take. I mean, you beat Alabama one time, and that hate's coming back. I mean, it's there under the surface simmering. And I think Philip Fulmer and that video that surfaced out of the locker room last week where he's singing, we don't give a blank about the entire state of Alabama, you start getting some more of that, and I think it spices this rivalry back up.
Aaron, let me stop you here because I know Charlie has to get in here and ask you a question, but let me just stop you. Tell your Bama fan listeners and your followers that Tennessee has done that for decades. The only thing that's different is now there's phones and video in the locker room. It's not a big deal. It's kind of like when the Gumps down there cheer about beating the hell out of an opponent at the end of the game. They sing Rammer, Hammer, Yeller, Hammer, whatever. We just beat the hell out of you. It's the same thing, and no one is triggered and no one gets mad. So tell them to simmer down a little bit, go brush your tooth, and relax.
Are they upset about that? Is anybody offended by that?
Yes. I mean, the team who beats everybody, who wins all these national championships, and now they're triggered because Coach Fulmer's singing in the locker room. My goodness.
Listen, that's been going on a long time.
Exactly.
And we're some of these people coming up now are soft as Charmin. That's part of sports, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely part of sports is the back and forth, as long as it stays good-natured.
Yeah,
I mean, when it crosses the line, that crosses the line. But that's what sports is. It's what rivalries are. I mean, if you were offended by that, then you need to go watch badminton or something.
Oh, you're preaching, Aaron. I'm right there with you. But want to ask you about Tua Tagovailoa. Oh, my goodness, that dude is putting up literally unreal numbers. The kid is absolutely incredible. But the question that I always have about Alabama quarterbacks, and I haven't had as much of this question about Tua, but is he a product of just being absolutely phenomenal, or is it also the players around him, just being surrounded by 6 stars that helps too? Is he just this amazing?
Tua is that amazing. Now, some quarterbacks at Alabama, I'm pretty sure any of the three of us could have thrown a pass to Amari Cooper, who's running wide open.
Yes.
Now, they might have looked a little uglier than others, but we could have completed a pass. What Tua is doing, and I don't like hyperbole because I don't want to take away from Tua. I've never seen anything like it. Tennessee's had great quarterback. They've seen it up close and personal with Tua Tagovailoa. But, guys, tell me an Alabama quarterback that Alabama fans have seen play live that's anywhere in the vicinity of Tua. It doesn't exist. I mean, you'd have to probably go back to the 60s with Snake and Broadway Joe. And most Alabama fans weren't alive to see that. And games weren't on television or in color, so they could have seen it. So this is new for Alabama. And when I tell you, so I forget who made the metaphor, the analogy, but most quarterbacks, if you take a door, and most quarterbacks want to aim to hit the doorknob, Tua can hit the keyhole. He's that accurate. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, look, the difference between him and Jalen Hurts is Jalen and he's made tremendous improvement this year too with Dan Enos. But Jalen can complete a pass, but most likely there's going to be limited yards after the catch. Tua puts it on the right shoulder, away from the defensive back. He hits guys in stride. I mean, look at their number of yards after the catch. He's so insanely accurate that it's almost impossible to defend this team. If you want to try to hurry him up and blitz him, his decision making is off the charts. And as you mentioned, he's got more weapons than maybe Alabama's ever had. By the way, good thing for Tennessee, it doesn't look like Devontae Smith is going to play, so that's one less the wide receiver you have to.
Yay.
Is there a matchup in this football game that you think Tennessee could find some success for? Because from the outside looking in, it doesn't appear that Alabama has very many weaknesses.
Week against Auburn, those deep balls and those third down and winning those one-on-one battles as those receivers, you can do that. It's a relatively inexperienced secondary for Alabama. The problem is they've been pretty good. I mean, I think as a team, they're second in the nation in interceptions. They have 12, and 11 of those have come from their defensive back. So Savion Smith's the guy you might be able to pick on. If you go back and watch the Ole Miss game, it was DK Metcalf who beat him on the first play of the game. Savion missed a jam at the line, and Metcalf ran by him for a touchdown. So, and he's basically starting now because Trayvon Diggs is out for the season. So that's a matchup, that Tennessee should have a lot of confidence in because they had a lot of success in it last week. Try it again this week.
Well, I know Saban listens to guys like you, so you should tell Nick Saban there's really no reason to risk Tua. I mean, you got bigger fish to fry here. You got LSU in a few weeks. Why don't you rest him? Make sure he's ready to go for this, this title run. Why play Tua against Tennessee? It's kind of pointless, right?
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a trainer. If the guy can't do any more injury, it can't damage the knee any further, they're probably going to play him. I think fans and guys like me and the media like to talk about, why don't you rest him for so-and-so, you got a big game coming. I don't think coaches and competitors think that way. I don't think Tua's thinking that way. I don't think Nick's thinking that way. And I know you said this in jest, but it's been a big topic on our show, is would you play Tua this week? But by doing that, even thinking that way is so against what Nick Saban's all about, because in a way, if you think about it, that's disrespectful to Tennessee, saying that you don't have to go out and play your best with your best players to win that game. And Nick Saban is that's just anti-Saban from the jump.
What's Saban's relationships with his former coordinators or former assistants that have went on to be head coaches? That whole deal with Kirby Smart, Nick Saban fighting over the transfer Smith, that didn't look fun. That didn't look like they would be exchanging Christmas cards anytime soon. Jeremy Pruitt leaves and he goes and takes Dominic Wood Anderson, somebody Alabama wanted. What's the relationship like?
Well, listen, I don't know that anybody's close to Nick Saban. The guy's a robot. He's almost, in a sense, incapable of human emotion that we joke about. But, listen, I think he respects guys who have been on his staff and done a really good job. And Jeremy Pruitt, I've said this from jump, I think Jeremy Pruitt was a better defensive coordinator than Kirby Smart. That's just my opinion, and it's personal preference. I like the way Jeremy is aggressive, and he allows his plays to go make plays. I think Kirby didn't do that enough at Alabama, which is why they started calling it third and Kirby on third down and long when offenses would pick up that first down. Wasn't any coincidence that Jeremy Pruitt led the nation that year, his first year as defensive coordinator, Alabama scoring defensive touchdowns left and right. That's because he's putting his players in a position to trust them and go make plays. So, but Nick Saban has a tremendous amount of respect for those guys that have been on his staff in a long time. But I just don't think it's Nick Saban's way to cozy up to anybody. That man has football in his life and his immediate family, and I'm not sure he has a whole heck of a lot else. So, and plus he's pretty difficult to work for. So I'm sure Jeremy Pruitt has a lot of respect for Nick Saban, but I don't know that he wants to go hang out with him on an off-season Saturday.
How is Tosh Lapointe, how has he fared as Alabama's new defense coordinator? I know he's more known for his recruiting prowess, but hey, he's getting an opportunity to call a defense replacing Jeremy Pruitt. How has he been this year, in your opinion, and maybe what you've heard around the program?
Well, he's not Jeremy Pruitt, and that's taking nothing away from Tosh. Very few people are. I'm, as you guys might be able to tell, I'm a big fan of Jeremy Pruitt. I like what he's about, and I like how he coaches. So, but there's been a little drop-off, and part of that, I think, starts at the middle linebacker position with Mack Wilson having to call the plays this year, and it just, you've seen too many screens from wide receivers being left unchecked or unaccounted for, running free down the sideline, or tight end screens. And this guy's running wide open that you just never really see that much at Alabama. And part of that is, Tosh and that teaching, and I think part of it is Mack not being real confident, real comfortable at times. So, but as I mentioned, the defense is pretty good. I think the defensive line is getting better and better. And overall, I'd say he's average, but I don't think, and no one I don't think would be fair to place this on him. I don't think he's Jeremy Pruitt yet. I don't know that he will be.
Aaron, how can people, follow you, the show, stalk Cole Kublik a little bit there, listening to y'all? I love the Bama fans who get on Cole because he's an Auburn guy, but Cole's one of the best in the business. But how can people follow you, man, and follow your show?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Aaron Suttles, and the show is the number 3 man front. Awesome.
Thanks so much for the time, and really, really appreciate it. And we'll see what happens this weekend.
All right, guys. Take care.
Hey, thank you. We'll take a quick time out, and we'll be joined by Dave Bartu, CFB Matrix, who does an unbelievable job at putting together the numbers and creating analytics that help folks look at the game differently. Let's just say that. Look at the game differently, and maybe make a little money, too, while they're watching the games. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center, lowtcenter.com. Stay with us. Dave Bartu joins us up next.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
Premier Surgical Associates is pleased to welcome Dr. Randy Reiser to its surgical practice. Dr. Reiser is board certified in general and vascular surgery and has treated patients in the Knox and Blount County areas for more than 20 years. Dr. Reiser is seeing patients at Premier Surgical's offices at Turkey Creek Medical Center, Paper Mill Drive, and in Maryville. For more information or to request an appointment with Dr. Reiser, please visit premiersurgical.com right now.
Back by popular demand, shop tax-free at Better Mattress during the month of October. Save hundreds of dollars store-wide. Better Mattress will pay your sales tax on any purchase. My Better Mattress has me sleeping better than ever, and it's handcrafted in East Tennessee, so I know it is made to last by good people who care about the quality of their work. Better Mattress makes it so easy to choose a mattress, you can get started right now. Visit bedrmattress.com and click on Mattress Prescription. Answer a few questions, and they'll send you some options to start with. Plus, at Better Mattress, shoppers sleep worry-free. If you don't like it after 100 nights, they'll swap it out for you. And your Better Mattress will come with a 20-year warranty. Shop Better Mattress tax-free this month only. Good night just got better.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Swain Event, we are joined by one of my favorite guests on the show, and I probably should have said that when Aaron Suttles was on too. I mean, he's my favorite too. It's kind of like having like more than one kid. They all your favorite. Hey, I love you. I love you too. You're my favorite kid. You're my favorite kid. But really, you do have a favorite. And that favorite is Dave Bartu, because he's just freaking awesome. He's joining us early in the morning from Oregon. It's 6:20 where he's calling from. And Dave, we are trying to identify fake Alabama fans who are bandwagon fans that may not know about Alabama football history before Nick Saban. We're trying to find our wins in this game because it may not be on the field. We're finding other ways to win, Dave. How you feel about that?
Oh, the easiest question, okay, if you want to know if they're a fake Alabama fan or not, ask them how good their recruiting was before Nick Saban. Where were you nationally before Nick Saban? Okay? Because if they don't know, see, this is what a lot of people don't know. Everybody thinks, oh, it's Alabama, it's Nick Saban. Oh, they've been number one forever. Wrong. Okay? When Nick Saban took over Alabama, the average class at Alabama the previous 4 years was number 17 in the country. They were South Carolina. Okay? And that wasn't that long ago. So if you're an Alabama fan, you should know that. Recruiting is a big enough topic now in college football. You should know that. You can't answer that question, fake fan.
We're going to send Ben on a field trip around campus on Saturday, and he's going to ask random Alabama fans trivia questions pre-Nick Saban. How do you think that's going to work out?
It's America. They ain't gonna know nothing.
Exactly.
Ask them to spell Roll Tide. Start there.
Exactly. ROWT. I don't know. How surprised are you that LSU beat Georgia over the weekend? I'm pretty sure that the Ed Orgeron coaching effect is not at the top of your list. What's your thoughts about that game?
No, it's not. But actually, the model projected a win by LSU.
Wow.
Not like that. Okay, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like that. Nobody predicted that. But it had LSU by 2.4 points. LSU's been playing great defense all season. And Orgeron, now don't get me wrong, Orgeron at Ole Miss, I mean, that is Charlie Weiss, chairman of the board level garbage that he had at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you want to talk about an interview, is get Joe Oliva on and just say, please explain to me the decision paradigm to hire this dude after he sucked so bad at Ole Miss. Okay, how did you have the faith to get there? Other than blind luck because he was drunk on bad moonshine, I don't know how it happened, okay? I mean, there's nothing that said, yeah, you should hire this guy because he's a great risk, all right? So maybe he's still not a very good head coach. But I'll tell you one thing. Dave Aranda is top 3 minimum defensive coordinators in this country right now, and he is carrying that football team. It's all about the defense there, but somehow the offense is good enough to get it done. And in fact, in the last 4 weeks, LSU's offensive scoring efficiency is number 10 in the country. It's becoming a kind of a badass team right now.
Well, Dave, so far I got a question about two of Tennessee's coaches. How has Pruitt graded out for you so far? And then also specifically Tyson Helton, because he's a guy that a lot of Tennessee fans have questions about right now. Tennessee's offense has been so. Where do they rank for you?
Well, you know something, Pruitt, look at all the new head coaches so far this year. Outside of Dan Mullen, it hasn't been very pretty. In fact, it's been as ugly as I've seen. I haven't seen numbers like this since like 2008. It's a wacky college football season. So, you know, as far as head coaches go, the grade isn't solid there for him just because, Coach Spector, I think, is sitting at -2. What I'm disappointed in is I thought the defense would be better. Okay, he's defense mind. I figured what would turn around first would be the defense, and it just hasn't been there. Okay, you've played, 5 FBS teams so far this year. The scoring efficiency is 96th in the country, or the defensive scoring efficiency is 96th in the country. And then when you compare the offenses they've faced, now they've faced a tough gauntlet of offenses. All right, the average offense efficiency your defense has faced is 20th in the country. So it is a really tough schedule so far, but they're still performing below the offenses on defense. So, if I'm grading the two, the offense versus the defense, I'd also grade the defense down a lot farther than the offense. Now, here's kind of the funky number, okay? Because we just started working on these in the last week or so because we're trying to design a new way to look at strength of schedule and forecasting games. Now, Tennessee, it's funny, Tennessee's offense and defense are both 93rd in scoring efficiency. Here's the thing about Tennessee's offense, though. They have faced the second toughest defensive profile in college football this year. Okay? So, and the interesting thing with that, even though you're ranked 93rd, okay, you face the second toughest defense. Your offensive scoring efficiency, and I know this is kind of hard to follow along this early in the morning, especially for me, but your offensive scoring efficiency is 27% higher than the average defense you're facing. Okay? So while the offensive numbers aren't good, they are well above the average defense they're facing because the average defense of all they're faced is brutal. Number 2 in the country, defense profile. The team, so that puts Tennessee, if you look at where they are ranked above the defenses they're facing, that's 33rd in the country. That is 1 spot above Michigan. That is 2 spots above Virginia Tech. Okay? It's right below Wisconsin. It's right below Washington. So when I look at the offense, if you look at it in a vacuum on paper, you go, the offense has been terrible, but you got to look at what they've been going up against. Heck, even defensively, it's one of the toughest schedules so far in college football this year, but offensively, they're actually performing above the defense way better than most of college football.
Would you call that a moral victory, Dave?
That is absolutely a moral victory. Damn right it is.
No, I'm melting.
Oh, dude, this is Participation Trophy 101, baby. Everybody's happy.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. I look at Chip Kelly, man. He's 1-5. Scott Frost is 0-6. And these dudes were talked about as taking over huge programs, and everyone wanted them. I know Tennessee fans definitely wanted Chip Kelly and maybe Scott Frost. I know I would have liked to have a dude like Scott Frost. I think he's exactly what Tennessee needed at the time, a genuine dude who can coach. And I think Tennessee got that with the better recruiter. But Dan Mullen has been able to kind of have success as a first-year coach coming over from Mississippi State. What about some of the other first-year coaches around the country, Bartu, and how they fared this season? We know Frost and Kelly have stunk it up, but what about the other guys?
Well, when I got up earlier this morning, I was trying to talk to all the security detail for Willie Taggart at his house, and they've been extremely busy and had no shot of getting a hold of Willie.
Yeah.
So he hadn't done too good either.
No. And he couldn't wait to leave your state a couple months ago, Bartu.
Man. Dude, I'm telling you, Willie Taggart stinks. I'll just hang my everybody says, hey, what hill do you want to die on? Dude, I've been dying on the Willie Taggart stinks hill for a long time. And I still say it's one of the worst hires in college football. But you look at all the other guys, Chad Morris, the offense has been okay. He made a disastrous choice in his defensive coordinator, but I don't trust Chad as a head coach. He didn't do anything but, below average at Southern Miss. Joe Moorhead's gotten off to a decent start. First-year head coach, Mississippi State. He's just going up against a bar of expectations that was just ridiculous. I mean, those folks down there are like, yeah, we're going to lose our best coach of all time, and we're going to get better. Yeah. Okay, I'll have what that guy's drinking. Yeah. So it's outside of Mullen, nobody has a positive coach effect. And for a first-year head coach, having a positive coach effect is tough. I mean, we can, no matter who it is, no matter how good they are, I think we would agree that you're going to expect the program to take at least a small step back, if not a big one. When you have a new head coach, then you start throwing in some freshman quarterbacks, and then it all goes to hell. So one of the other positives I try to look at, so this is one of the things that concerns me about Chip Kelly, just slightly, okay? I think Chip's going to turn it around. You already see the progression in their offense and defense so far this year. I can feel it coming. They're going to beat USC in the USC rivalry game, and then all hell's going to break loose on Helton over there. So the thing that concerns me, though, about UCLA is just where their recruiting's at right now. You look at all the other new head coaches, and even if the record is down, the team's not doing well, the next thing I look at is, are they still getting the players they're supposed to be getting? Are they still recruiting at the level that program expects? And everybody's there except UCLA, and we all know Chip hates recruiting, and it'll probably turn itself in the end. But everybody else, Florida State, Oregon, Tennessee, Mississippi State, even Arkansas, they're all recruiting where they're supposed to be. So, overall, the season, in a nutshell, short term may not be that great, but going forward, the talent's still coming in. And for a lot of these programs and fans, what you're just looking for is, am I seeing positive progression on the offensive and defensive efficiency side going into 2019?
Bartu, I know you are not a Willie Taggart fan, but you got to feel sorry for him a little bit. I'm looking at the remaining games for Florida State. They play a well-coached Wake Forest team, Dave Clawson. They play number 3 Clemson at home. They play at NC State, who's ranked 16. Clemson's 3rd. They play at Notre Dame, who's 4th. Then they play BC, and then they play Florida at home. Willie Taggart's in trouble, man. This is ugly.
Yeah, well, I can think about 5 million reasons a year that I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah, well.
You reap what you sow. Actually, here's one of his biggest problems is his damn mouth. He won't shut up. I mean, seriously, this is a guy that told the fan base this is going to be a quick turnaround. Really? You're going to say that before you even play a game? Did your mama ever say, under promise and over deliver. You don't do it the other way around, boy.
He should have said it takes 7 years to build a program. I heard that.
Oh man, I'd be throwing everything under the bus. Every coachism I could. Cupboards Bear, Jimbo Fisher, like the culture, Jimbo Fisher. But I'd have thrown. I mean, Jimbo Fisher should have like 80,000 bus marks on his back right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And everybody should be good. Yeah, he should have just buried it down as far as he could and made people think that it was right near the bottom. Well, guess what? You are near the bottom. You just expected something else.
Yeah, you are. What about, speaking of bus marks, what about Gus Malzahn? Looks like the Auburn fans want to run him over.
Shoot, is his house still standing?
He just signed a contract extension a couple months ago, Dave. I mean, what are they going to do?
I don't get that. Well, that's the first thing. You know something? The athletic director who signed that, I don't know the situation, but you know, something from way out here when you hear, oh, Gus Malzahn wants to go to Arkansas. If I'm the athletic director, I'm like, dude, go for it. You want to go from Auburn and the ability, the potential to win a national title to Arkansas, which is the worst recruiter in the entire division. You want to go from here to there? Knock yourself out, bro. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Why do these ADs at an elite program with a big brand worry about a guy going somewhere else? Heck, it's just like Pruitt. It's no different. There was a ton of articles saying, hey, if Pruitt gets Tennessee to where Tennessee wants it to be, he's going to be a hot commodity. Dude, if Pruitt gets Tennessee where fans want him to be, they're winning a national title. Why would he go anywhere?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's a done deal like people think. I think he's going to be here for a while. Remember, Dave, Auburn didn't have an AD because Jay Jacobs was stepping down. So I think there was a time and place where, like, they didn't have an AD. I think the president kind of made some moves to keep Gus Malzahn, which he may be under the fire now too, because that's a huge buyout. All right, Dave, so I'm looking at around college football this weekend. We got some good games now. I'm an SEC guy, so I'm not going to be turning to Michigan and Michigan State, but it's a matchup between two top 25 teams. You know, creeping up on everyone is Michigan. They're sixth in the country. Looks like Jim Harbaugh has his quarterback stabilized, and they're moving a little bit. I don't think people are taking Michigan serious until they beat Ohio State, but it is a top 25 matchup. How are you looking at this game?
You know, so number one with Michigan, the numbers year to date aren't stellar. They're not top 15 on either side of the football. Yeah, they've been progressing pretty good. And Michigan State, I mean, this was a bottom 25 offense last year. It's still a bottom 25 offense. I'm not too excited about this football game. I think it's going to be all defense in this one. I got it right now. I got it a 23-19 football game for Michigan. I think they're going to win and cover in this one. But I think it's going to be low scoring based on the numbers so far. Even looking at their last 4 weeks, I mean, Michigan, their offensive scoring efficiency right now is 39th in the country. So they may have a quarterback, but I'm not too high on the offensive coordinator, and I'm really not too high on their talent. They're still a mid-level recruiter that Harbaugh somehow hasn't been able to turn the corner there. But this should be a great football game. I do think it's going to be closer than people expect, but I'm on the underside at 41 points as well.
So I'm going to take a look at another top 25 matchup, and then I want to come back to the SEC. You have NC State on the road playing Clemson. Both teams are undefeated. I might watch this one. I got some people we know from Knoxville to play for Clemson, so there may be a reason to watch Clemson. Clemson is favored at 17.5 points. That's a huge line for two undefeated teams, and the over-under is 56 according to ESPN.com. What is going on in the mind of Dave Bartu?
Well, first of all, with NC State, this is a program that's taking advantage of a window of opportunity. Okay, you have Florida State down, you have Louisville down. You got some of these other teams in the ACC that are down, and NC State's kind of jumping through this window. The ACC, offensively, if you look at the ACC profile, their offense is atrocious. It was atrocious before they started conference play. It hasn't gotten any better. So you look at NC State, you go, undefeated. Wow, look at that defense. Yeah, but the average offense you're playing is ranked 113th in the country. Kind of the same thing for Clemson. Clemson has the easiest schedule compared to their talent in all of college football. But 17.5 is a ton of points. I got this thing modeled as Worst case scenario or best case, depending on your point of view, I'm looking at like a 31-24 football game, 31-23 football game in favor of Clemson. Neither one of these offenses really light it up for me. I think it's going to be a defensive lean. Do you know what the total is on that thing? It's probably around 55.
56 on ESPN.
Right. I'm at 53.9. So I will, from a betting standpoint, which everybody loves talking about too, we'll take NC State to cover and a lean on the under, as both of these teams are strong defensively.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna write this one down. I mean, just taking notes, Dave. No reason. No reason.
Oh no! I got every
notes.
game like this. I could do this every game. I think it's going to be a 26-point total at halftime as well. And watch NC State to come out ahead early. I think the game is going to go in NC State's favor early. Maybe a 14-10, 14-13 halftime lead.
Just taking notes.
And then in the third quarter, that's when Clemson's going to explode and take control of the game.
Just taking notes, Dave. Just taking notes. No reason.
What about in your neck of the woods? Is Mike Leach going to pull off an upset of the Mighty Ducks?
Mike Leach is pretty dang dangerous at all times. I mean, he's one of the best coach effect guys in all of college football. And this one, though, look, Oregon has a talent advantage. They have the best player on the field, and Herbert. I expect Oregon to get out to a strong start. This is a 21-17 kind of halftime score. Playing at Washington State, though, man, it is truly the middle of nowhere. And the modeling on this one, I got this one 34-30 Oregon. Don't expect the defenses to show up. These defenses have played a huge group of bad offenses, and their defenses still aren't very good. If you want a lot of points scored, I think I'm going to be low on 34-30 Oregon. I think it's going to be a lot more than that personally. But that's where the model is with that. I think Washington State opened as the favorite in the football game, too. I think they were -2 to open it. So I really like Oregon to win and cover in that football game.
Yeah, Washington State is -3 right now, again, according to ESPN. Mississippi State goes on the road to play LSU. I guess this is the Dak Prescott Bowl. Dak wanted to play at LSU growing up, and they didn't want him, so he goes to Mississippi State, and he comes back and he beats LSU. What are you seeing in this game? LSU is a 6.5-point favorite, and the over/under is at 45. LSU coming off a big-time win against Georgia.
Yeah, I like LSU covering that football game. Right now, remember I just mentioned a little bit ago, 4-week moving average on LSU. Their offense scoring efficiency is 10th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Mississippi State's 123rd. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of offense on the Mississippi State side, especially against going up against that Aranda defense. But the Mississippi State defense that's what's carried them this year. You know, everybody says offense and Fitzgerald and this, that, and the other. Well, offense has been atrocious the last 4 weeks. The defense has kept them in football games. The defense has won them football games. The model, I got this one, though, is 27-14 in favor of LSU. This is one, I mean, you got a home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You have a big talent advantage. You have the better offense. You have the better defense. And all you're giving up is less than a touchdown. I really like LSU covering in this football game.
The game of the week, the most important game in the country, is Tennessee hosting Alabama. I said that with a straight face. Tennessee is a 29-point underdog. The over-under is 57. Do you think Tennessee covers? Hey, Pruitt, former coach at Alabama, you think Nick Saban says, okay, take it easy on you a little bit? Tua has a bum knee. Do you see Tennessee covering in this game, Dave?
They take it easy on everybody. They let a lot of people back into it. I mean, if you get both Alabama barrels, their first and second quarter offensive efficiency is number one in the country by far. It's ridiculous when Tua's in there. Defensively, I'd argue at least on paper, this is the worst defense Nick Saban's ever had at Alabama. That also means it's a top 15 defense can still be the worst defense Saban's had at Alabama. So there's no happy participation trophy there. Look, this one models out. I got it 43-16, Alabama. So you're looking at 27-point differential there. So got to take Tennessee to cover the 29.5. And the total points I have is 58.7, which is right near that line as well. So I'm not seeing that there's going to be a lot of opportunity betting in that one. So I think it's all pretty tight to the line, but making a choice, I'll take the 29.5 points and Tennessee to cover that.
Hey, Dave, do you have a record of Alabama covering for the season? Because they're good, they beat everybody down, but they do take the foot off the gas a little bit, and they don't cover late. Do you have a record of kind of how they fared so far this year?
No, I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I know they've gone back and forth. I was sitting in a sports book in Mississippi when they were 4-3. I don't remember who they were playing, like Louisiana Lafayette or Louisiana Monroe or something like that, and they were minus 40, and they covered that. I saw a dude put $10,000 down on that. I'm like, dude, really? And
we're
they
related.
covered that.
We're cousins. Hey, cousin.
But then A&M, they did this. They were what? I can't remember what they were. They were 27-point favorites against A&M, 20-point favorites against A&M, and in the fourth quarter let them back into it to make it closer. So, Alabama does take its foot off the gas. Offensively, they're 63rd in the country in offensive scoring efficiency, and 43rd in the third quarter. So they absolutely jump out to these big leads, take their foot off the gas. That's another reason why I think betting on a big spread like that, especially, I'm still saying, I think your offense at Tennessee is underrated, underappreciated because of the defenses they've faced this year. I think the offense is going to still struggle to score points, but it's a matter of the defenses they're facing, and again this weekend, another top 20 defense. So,
well, Dave, since I am a Patreon member of College Football Matrix, I'm going to go into my email and look for those stats and look for those numbers, because that would be great to have in the future for, Tennessee Sports Talk. I'm going to do that because I am a supporter of Dave Bartu on a monthly basis there on Patreon.
Yeah, well, and you should have had your first email the other day breaking down all the numbers.
I got it.
There'll be more. Yeah, that breakdowns every single game, and then actually I got a new one for you. Dude, I'm going to send it to you today.
Okay.
I'm trying to design it for the playoff committee folks. And it's a bunch of whole new numbers you ain't ever seen at all. So I'll get that over to you today personally.
I can't wait. Alabama is 4-3 against the spread, correct, man?
According to ESPN.
According to ESPN.
Yeah.
So.
And, no surprise there. They're all huge spreads, and they just keep bouncing back and forth. And I think 29.5, you're talking 5 scores. It's above 28. And I got this thing modeled at 27.6, so I'll stick on the cover lean, and then the total. What's the total on that thing? Is it under 50,
57.
Okay, so we're leaning over on that one as well. I mean, I got 57.5 and 58.7 in the modeling, so we'll see how it goes. But don't be too down on everything. Especially that offense, I think it's done pretty good given the circumstances this year.
One last question. I want you to share with us, CFB Matrix on Patreon and kind of explain what people get and how they can support you. But one last question before we get there. And what is the pick of the weekend for you? The numbers spit out. This is the game that people should look at. This is the game that people should possibly wager on.
Well, one of I do like that LSU one. I mean, I hate to go back to it.
Yeah.
But 6 points, and I have that thing modeled, double-digit win. You have every matrix advantage that I love. Okay, except maybe coaching. But Orgeron versus Moorhead, whatever. Let's call it a wash right now.
Yeah.
You have the best players. You have the home field. You got everything in your favor in that one. I like that. The other team to look at is FIU. Okay, and the reason I'm saying that FIU offensively, I know last week they played a really close game, but they still covered that one. FIU's offense over the last 4 weeks, has at least 3 of the last 4 weeks, has been really good, and the lines they've been facing are pretty low. Now I know they're facing Rice this week. And I have them by 20 in that football game. And that's kind of one of the funny teams I like looking at. I like looking at teams that nobody talks about, that numbers have been good. and usually lines makers kind of ignore them. You got the line on that thing with Rice right now?
I'm looking it up right now, and it won't be long before you will be featured on Scott Van Pelt. They talk about those numbers and stuff like that from the weekend. It looks like, come on, here we go. Rice by 1 point, and the over-under is 53.
Rice by 1?
Rice by 1, according to
No, well, I see that FIU is 23.5-point favorite.
That's from last year.
Oh, sorry, last year. I'm sorry. My bad.
Rice has 1 win.
My bad. Reroute, Orange Barrel. I checked the chart wrong. My organizational chart lied to me. I'm sorry. That was from last year, 2017. Ben, what was the line this year?
23.5.
23.5. Even Dave was like,
okay. We're right on top of that.
Okay.
So
53.5.
So we are taking. Who are you taking in this one, Dave?
Oh, that's a tight line right there for me. 23.5. No, I don't want to take Rice. Rice is horrible.
Yep, I messed that all up. Sorry about that. I'm totally
Rice
buzzkill.
is really, really horrible. Now, you know me. I'm not a big lock of the week guarantee guy. I like throwing a bunch of stuff out there.
Gotcha.
But that you hit on that LSU game. I mean that is.
It looks good.
That's one of my favorite this week. I got a few of them, but that one really embodies everything that I hold dear: scoring efficiency, talent, home field, coaching.
Gotcha.
You got the best, defensive coordinator. You got the best players. Your home field. You're only giving up a touchdown. And I know they're coming off the high of smoke in Georgia. But this team's trajectory is not the same direction as Mississippi State right now. And so as long as it's under that one possession, I'm really good with that one.
Gotcha. All right, Dave. So, how can people get your information? How can people get the same information that you kind of share on the show with the projections and analytics and the models that you guys create? How can people get access to this, and how can they support you? I mentioned Patreon. I use Patreon, part of Swain Event Plus. You use Patreon for your followers, and I'm a subscriber to your Patreon, so I get all the stuff that you've been talking about. But how can other people get the same access?
Yeah, well, it's going onto Patreon and search for CFB Matrix, and it'll just pop right up. And there's different subscription levels, obviously depending on how much information you want, what you want information about. Heck, I even do the NFL stuff every week. And post that if you're an NFL bettor and data junkie. So you got to kind of check out and see what's on there in terms of what you want. But the biggest takeaway that is, no matter where you subscribe at, you're getting some level of spreadsheets that I'm looking at every day.
Awesome.
The stuff I'm looking at right now to do your show, people now get access to and can use for whatever. A lot of sports bettors, a lot of just crazy stat fans, and it's a great way for me to kind of show people what I'm looking at every day, and sometimes we come up with something new. Like this week, working on this strength of schedule, and this strength of schedule is going to also include Vegas expectations. Everybody's always saying, we need somebody on Vegas on the committee. Well, what we're going to do is try to get the Vegas numbers into the modeling so that people can see that as well. So that's something some of the the Patreon members are going to be seeing this week. Kind of outside the lines as we're working on the model for playoff folks to be able to look at college football a little bit differently.
My email, I got at 1:35 a.m. I got Week 8 conference notes, stats, and previews. At 1:40, I got Week 8 FBS depth charts. I got at 1:42 this morning, I got Week 8 game notes. So you sent us 3 emails while I was counting the sheep this morning, and you were on the West Coast working. And so that's just a little bit of a little info on what you get when you are rolling with Dave Bartu. He's the best in the business. So, Dave, man, thanks so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate you getting up early to join us. I always have fun, and I look forward to the next time, buddy.
Take it easy, brother. Good luck covering this weekend.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. At CFB Matrix on Twitter, and you can follow him and follow his work and support him by going to Patreon and typing in CFB Matrix, and it pops right up, just like Dave said.
His assessment of Tennessee was very interesting. Just talking about specifically the defense. What did he refer to it as? The defensive profile that Tennessee has faced
second in
so
the country.
far, being so difficult, and it actually indicates that Tennessee's offense hasn't been particularly bad. That's very interesting because obviously we've all been complaining about how bad it's been, and maybe Tennessee just needed to play teams with defenses that aren't so good.
Second toughest defensive profile in the country, according to Dave Bartu.
It makes sense. West Virginia's defense was better than we expected. Florida's has turned out to be one of the best in the country. Not going to include ETSU or UTEP, but then Georgia's one of the best in the country. And then Auburn, I know Tennessee made them look silly on Saturday, but Auburn's defense was one of the best in the country heading into that game. I know their secondary was only allowing an SEC best 158 yards passing per game.
Well, I remember Chris Lowe specifically earlier in the season before we kind of figured out what Auburn has sort of become. I remember him saying that Auburn might have the best defensive line in America, period. He said it may be better than Alabama's, and that's high praise. And, of course,
I mean, it is better than Alabama's.
Yeah, well, sure.
Yeah, it is better. And Mississippi State's supposed to be better than Alabama's, too. But, yeah, Auburn's defensive front was –
Auburn's problem is they've run into
is nasty.
A lot of injuries. Quinn Williams, though, their D tackle is playing better than any defensive lineman in the country right now. I heard Greg McElroy on with Cole Kublik earlier this week, and Greg McElroy said that it was the most impressive defensive line performance against Ole Miss that he's ever seen. And that's high praise. And then Cole also thought his performance against Arkansas was one of the best defensive line performances he's ever seen. So Quentin Williams going up against Jameer Johnson with a banged-up ankle injury, Nathan Niehaus, who's making his second career start, and Jerome Carvin, a true freshman.
It was an admirable effort. It's gonna.
No, Quentin Williams plays for Alabama. So
I know.
This weekend, yes, Auburn's front seven is better, but Alabama has suffered some injuries. I know Terrell Lewis, he's missed for the season. Chris Lowe alluded to that yesterday, but they've got some guys up front that nightmare matchups.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
Alabama's struggling defense. They may look a little bit better against Tennessee's offensive line.
Struggling defense.
Yes, struggling as much as Alabama can.
Struggling defense.
But it was interesting also to hear from Aaron Suttles reflecting on something that he said, that under Tosh Lapoy, the defense has taken a marked step back from where it was with Pruitt. That's something to note.
Tosh is a recruiter. Let's just say that.
And it is important to note. Look at everybody they lost off that defense. Mika Fitzpatrick.
There's a lot of people.
A lot of defensive linemen at linebacker, corners, safeties. They lost a lot, and they've really been bit by the injury bug this season. So, yes, Tosh Lapoy is not Jeremy Pruitt. That defense has taken an overall step back, but I would say that it's more because of kind of losing talent, injuries, rather than just Tosh Lapoy just not being as good as Jeremy Pruitt.
Yep.
But
yeah, Tosh is a recruiter. He's not probably the best defensive coach, but Deron Payne, that just lets you know how much of an animal he was for Alabama, because he's doing kind of the same things now with the Redskins. And the Redskins are one of the best defenses in the league too. So it starts up front, starts in the middle, and Deron Payne from Alabama is doing a really, really good job. I want to go to the text box and Facebook Live comments before we wrap up today's show. Blue, yellow, neon says, Swain over here checking that leftover Lyle chart with a laughing emoji. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong chart, man. I was looking at the wrong lines from last year. So that's why the awkward silence from Dave Bartu.
He was shocked. Point. Rice is 1-6 this year.
What?
If Rice is a point favorite, bet that all day long.
My bad, man. My bad. I fell on the helmet last night. I have a concussion, and that's the truth.
Ed, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, Ed Parker, do you think we really have a shot at going to a bowl game this year?
Is a pig's right butt cheek pork? Yes, I do.
Absolutely. And 100% serious. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you continue to play like you played against second half of Georgia or Auburn, if you play like that again on Saturday, doesn't matter if you win or lose, but if you play well, then you're going to play some teams who are not as good as Alabama and whose defenses are not as good as Auburn's, and you have a chance to win that game.
Right now, Tennessee has the same exact record, if I'm thinking correctly, same exact record as South Carolina, same exact record as Missouri. I was trying to look. Check me on that one.
I'll check it while you continue talking.
Yeah, everybody's 3-3. South Carolina 3-3. Tennessee 3-3. Missouri 3-3. And Vanderbilt is 3-4. They played 7 games so far.
Vanderbilt. We're better than you. We played an extra game.
And so you're right there with all of. You're all in the same position. You're not behind. Who's to say you can't make a bowl game? Just win these games.
We all stink a little bit with a chance to not stink as much if we beat each other. Kind of.
Sure. Here's an interesting tidbit that I wanted to end on. This is something that I found during the show today that was very interesting. The Business Insider calculated the NCAA average revenue by sport across the entire NCAA, and I want you to name the top 5 sports. I think you'll be surprised. There was one in here where I was like, whoa, really? So what do you think they would be? The top 5 sports by revenue in college sports.
Football.
Football's number 1, $31 million a year on average for schools. Number 2,
basketball.
It is basketball, $8 million.
3, baseball.
Nope. It is not.
Soccer.
No.
No.
I don't know if you're going to
Women's basketball.
Nope. I was
golf.
Shocked.
Rowing.
Nope.
Swimming.
Nope.
DN.
Men's ice hockey is number 3 at nearly $3 million a year.
Where's DN on
Where's
that
this
list?
This is Business Insider. Business Insider. Number 4, women's basketball. Number 5, baseball.
Where's DN on that list?
I don't know where DN is on this list.
I bet you do, Charlie.
Oh, man. Your boy Jeffy on Twitter just ruined my setup for Seth Stokes. And Stokes caught it because of your boy Jeffy on Twitter. I had a great one lined up for you.
The DN cross.
Oh, man. It was fantastic, man. Golly, what a buzzkill. Jeffy. All right, Swain Event will be live at Alumni Hall tomorrow, getting ready for the Alabama-Tennessee matchup. Hope you have a great Thursday. The best day of the week for Ben McKee and Charlie Burris. I'm Jason Swain. Hope you have a great day. Peace and love.